Hey, what's up, Better Call Saul fans? Kino here, and it's been a little while. We've had a mid-season break in the final season of the show, and today was the premiere of the second half of it. So this episode's called Point and Shoot. Now, I wanted to discuss the mid-season break real quick because I think it informs the context when you watch this episode because the show creators did not know there was actually going to be a mid-season break. It was AMC's decision, and the reason for that was because it allowed the show to qualify for two different Emmy seasons or whatever, or whatever you call it. There's like a bracket for I think the first half of the year and the second half of the year. So this basically gives the show two chances at winning awards rather than just one. So that was a decision by AMC, not the showrunners. And I think that's reflective of this episode. If you looked at it as like like The Sopranos, right? There's part A and there's part B. And they're clearly very distinctive parts. They're meant to be viewed almost as two different seasons. And they kind of are. This one is not. And when you look at this episode, this is clearly the conclusion of the story arc of what they were doing with Lalo. It's not the beginning of season 6A. This honestly should have probably been the ending of they should have done the break after this one, except there'd only be a few episodes left. So, again, a decision from a marketing standpoint, not a storytelling standpoint. It's dramatic where we leave off the last one when he kills Howard, but it's not conductive to immediately end what happens with Lalo after this. Now, again, you could say that, they might do more stuff with it. No. Let's get into this episode real quick. So I'll talk about what happens. So Lalo, obviously, last episode, walked into their apartment, killed Howard, and he tells them that one of them has to go and kill Gus, basically. They don't know it's Gus, but they have to go kill him or he's going to kill the other one. So originally he's going to send Jimmy. Instead, he convinces Kim to go so that she's out of danger. She goes down to Gus's house. It is actually, it's the same spot where Walt parked when he was going to go kill Gus. So there's obviously that parallel there. Not that I think that making that parallel is very interesting because there's nothing really thematically the same about Kim going to kill Gus as Walt was. It's two completely different situations. Walt and Kim are not really like parallel characters. Like Saul and Walt are parallel characters. But it's not like, honestly, they probably should have sent Saul to go do it. That actually would have made sense thematically. Because we would have seen both of our main characters in that situation. I don't know. I don't know why they sent Kim. I almost wonder if it was kind of like a feminist thing, where it was like, oh, isn't it like subversive that the heroine goes to go do this action rather than the man, and he's the damsel in distress. That didn't really bother me when I was watching. I wasn't thinking about this, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that's the reason why. Again, I don't really give a shit about the parallels. I think they're kind of weak on this show. But regardless, plan doesn't work. It wasn't meant to work. Lalo went to the super lab, waited for Gus there. Gus realized he was there, went there. Lalo ambushed them. And then he makes Gus go into the lab while he's recording video. He reminds me of a vlogger. He reminds me of like me vlogging my VidCon trip and stuff. It's pretty funny to think about, but of course they telegraphed so hard that what was going to happen. Gus basically grabs the gun that he hid down there, kills Lalo, and they bury him down there. So yeah, people were speculating that was going to be his fate for a while now. And it's really fucking annoying, to be honest with you, how people are like, oh my god, he was in the super lab the whole time. Oh my god, this changes everything. No, you fucking guys, it does not. This does not make Breaking Bad any more interesting to what just happened. It does not recontextualize anything. It does not shed new light on who Gus is. It doesn't change any of the scenes we saw in the lab to know that Gus and, well, Gus, are not, sorry, not Gus, Lalo and Howard are both buried down there. Gus, like, Lalo's end does not even really, like, it's not like a thematic, like, oh my god, isn't it ironic how he died, right? Like, great character deaths, I feel like, have this level of irony. You can take something like Richie April's death in The Sopranos, right? And I'm not trying to basically be like, oh, The Sopranos is better show than Better Call Saul. It is, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The reason I do that is just obviously because my audience knows me from The Sopranos. But you look at Richie April's death, right? It's very ironic. He gets killed by Janice after he hits her, when at the beginning of the season he told Christopher, you're not allowed to hit a woman unless you're married to her. Again, not saying that's true or not, that's just his philosophy. It's an ironic death, and it says something about how hypocritical he is as a character. You can see it in a bunch of stuff. I mean, another great example is Avatar, Legend of Korra. A lot of the villains there die very ironically. I'm not going to go through all that right now, but the point is, a character's demise can be like, oh, okay, this is a statement about their flaws as a character. Now, Lalo's death is a statement about his flaws as a character, but only in how shitty he is, and how he does not deserve the praise that the audience is giving on him. He's not a cool villain. He's a fuck-up. He's a loser. He fails at every fucking thing he's done on the show. He's not a threat to anyone. Part of this is because Better Call Saul is a prequel, so there was never any conflict that he was going to kill Gus. We know Gus doesn't die. There was some conflict that maybe he would kill Kim, but that's not really not really, because, again, that's just not how it's set up to do. We know how Saul is in Breaking Bad. We know how he acts like. It does not make sense for Kim to meet a horrible demise like this. Now, I will talk about what I'm expecting of Kim in Saul in the rest of these episodes. That we'll save that for a bit, but I do want to talk about this. Lalo's storyline is dragged out. It's pointless. It's not tense. It sucks. Lalo sucks as a character. You've been tricked into liking him. Tony Dalton, I think that's the actor's name, gives a great performance. I'm not dissing the actor. Great actor. All the actors on the show are fantastic. The writing for him has been god-awful. It's an interesting setup, right? That we have a different kind of Salamanca than we're used to. And I admit, his intro scene in season 4, I think, was cool. I was like, oh, this is a cool character. But they don't do anything with him. Every single episode besides that first little intro of him has been awful. It wasn't, yes, he kills the gunmen who come into his apartment, his house or whatever, but that's not that cool. Because it's not against any character that we know. He gets tricked by Ignacio, and don't even get me started on how much they wasted Ignacio's character. This is a truly awful episode. I'm sorry. I know almost every one of you commenters is going to disagree with me on this. But I'm just really, really not happy with this season. They've been focusing so much on the Lalo storyline, and it's so disappointing. Because when you think of it, this show is supposed to be about Saul's development, and we're really not getting that. Especially this season. In the earlier seasons, yeah, we got a lot of that, but he's been the back burner for this cartel storyline that they've been wanting to tell. Because they want Breaking Bad style conflict where it's like, boom, oh my god, who's gonna live and die? And that's not what Saul's storyline in this show is set up to do. We know who lives, we know who dies. So instead, we should be learning about Saul as a character. We should be seeing him become the goofy clown that we see in Breaking Bad. We get a little bit of that, like I said, in early seasons, but more and more that's been forgotten as we focused on this cartel stuff. We haven't even touched on the Gene storyline this season at all. I mean, yes, there's some flashes to his mansion or whatever, but unless I'm really forgetting, I don't remember any Jean stuff this season. Which is a pretty important thing. I know we've got what, like, I don't even know how many episodes we have left. I mean, I'll look it up right now. I think maybe 3 or 4 more episodes after this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 more episodes, okay? Less than the first half of this season. We've got to get Saul Goodman where we need him to be. We got to do their inevitable stupid Bryan Cranston cameo they're going to do. It's going to probably not be great. We got to do the Jean storyline all in 5 episodes. We got to deal with Kim. Okay, so this is going to be a long one. So let's talk about Kim. From the teaser of what we saw at the end of this episode, it's Saul basically telling her, like, you know, we'll get over this. So I think what they're telegraphing is that this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and she's either going to go crazy, or she's going to leave Jimmy because she's too guilt-ridden over what happened, or too traumatized, or something along those veins. If you were going to do that, you should have done it way before now. To have her, if she leaves him, if that's what the storyline is, you should have done this, like, at the end of season 5. We would need a season of him dealing with this, because Kim is such a central character, to then justify him becoming the Saul Goodman. Like, let's say they spend the next episode dealing with, like, the aftermath, and then she leaves him, like, maybe in episode 10. He's gonna have 2 episodes of dealing with that, and then we gotta do the Jean stuff, too. And maybe they'll weave it all in throughout all of this, but I'm not hopeful, guys. All this explanation of, like, it'll make sense in the end. Trust Vince. Bravo, Vince. Even though it's not even fucking Vince. It's Peter Gould doing all this. Gloves are off. Just like one of those episode titles was. I am not happy about this show. Because it was so good originally and it's coming off a great franchise, I am disappointed. I really, really am, guys. I mean, I think this is probably enough to leave it at this. We've got more reactions to do coming up, and I'll talk more about this. But yeah, go ahead and leave your comments about how I don't understand this show, or I'm not getting it, or it's much better than I think, or turn off your brain, just enjoy it. But no, I'm not happy about this at all. So for now, I'm going to keep watching. You guys know I'm going to keep watching it, but, yeah, we'll leave it at that. So I do appreciate you guys for watching this, whether you agree with my opinions or not. I do love talking about this with you guys, and we'll have a big kind of streaming session when this show is done and talk about it. But, these are just my thoughts. I never bullshit you guys. I give my honest fucking opinion. So, hopefully you enjoyed it, but, we'll check out the next episode and see where the story goes. So, talk to you guys then.